It's okay.
All right, please introduce yourself.
I was the maid, Bella. Yeah.
I'm John, I'm the writer and director.
I'm Paul, was in the film, executive producer, casting director, AD. What else did I do?
You were an actor too.
I was an actor too, yes.
I'm Quinn, I play Sophie.
I'm Daniel, I played Officer Davison.
Awesome. Well, listen, I have to say that it is a high class of filmmaking. All of the aspect of the production is just on top of the game. Editing, production design, directing, writing, sound and music is just, I think it's impeccable, and we're very excited to have you guys here. Nice job. So my question would be, why did you choose to tell that story? How did you come up with that?
So I wrote the script back in 2020, and it was just two random things. The first one was, I was just kind of thinking about kind of narrative structure, and I had the idea of sort of people sat around a campfire telling a story, and then you go into the story, and then those people tell a story, and then those people, and you keep going in, so it's a story within a story within a story. And I was also listening to a creepy Russian lullaby at the same time, and it was just those two things that kind of molded together and ended up as this, basically.
Awesome. I could talk for hours probably about every aspect of your film because again it's so good. But could you? I'm just going to ask this question: if you could go back, since you've done such a good job, all of you guys, if you could go back and meet yourself when you were just preparing to shoot or when you were in pre-production, what advice would you give yourself? What possible challenge or mistake or problem would you warn yourself about?
I don't know.
You can just say I've done a great job. No.
I mean, like, it's just like, I guess, for me, it would be like, just like to, I mean, because I had to get into character and I had to cry a lot, you know, for the scene. So basically, you know, like, what I would say is just like, kind of like, go back to, like, it's what I did at that time. So basically, go back to a bad place, you know, go back to like this moment and like just embrace that feeling and let it out in a way. So yeah, I would say that to myself before performing, I guess.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's probably nothing I would change. I don't mean that in like a kind of arrogant way, like I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but it's just, I feel like I kind of got everything on my wish list thanks to kind of Paul and Jen, and like, weirdly the stars kind of aligned for us, and everything kind of fell into place, and we got very lucky, and we just had a lot of favours and things. And it was kind of the movie I wanted to make, but it's kind of weird when you kind of get everything you want. You don't worry so much about like production value, that I have more existential worries, because I'm like, is the overall idea good enough? And it's like, have I wasted everyone's like investment? And it's like, it's weird, you have some slightly more worrying, bigger life problems. So it's, yeah, I guess I just hope I made the right overall decisions to have the strongest sort of proof of concept to give us the best chance for the feature, because that's what it's intended as. It's a proof of concept for a horror franchise, basically.
Nice, thank you. Okay, we'll talk about the proof of concept.
Well, where do we begin? I mean, I met, you know, Jen just a week before I met John, and this came together so quickly. You know, you talk about pre-production and planning. From my point of view, I had about a week to pull it together, and we cast it really quickly. Amazingly, we found Quinn, and you know, John's wish list was for a really elevated cast. We got Daniel, and his number one choice was Hayley McFarland. So that, you know, I'm a casting director by trade, but that was the first call, and you know, it was the first big piece of the puzzle. So, you know, when Hayley was interested in doing that, it started to come together quickly. I had worked with Quinn several times on Robert the Doll and Legion of Exorcists, and you know, And we went through the audition process, and it just started coming together, you know. And so I pulled together actors that I was familiar with and really believe in their work and what they do. So the whole goal here was to elevate this tremendous idea that John had for this gorgeous piece. So that was, you know, a week ahead of time, and then it was location scouting, and you know, fortunately, my dear friend Jed the Fish, you know, that's the house on Markham that we utilized for that, the Hero House. So that was a blessing to be able to have that kind of location, and then a lot of professional equity in trying to pull it together on a shoestring budget. You know, I think John came with £5,000 from London to do this. So, you know, those were the challenges. So when we talk about what can we do better, I mean, you know, I'm not sure how we could elevate other than have the luxury of time to prep
Yeah.
and get into this. We shot it in 4 days, and the real challenge was for John in post-production, and really bringing the vision together with editing, and then the tremendous score with Kim Plannert, and just really amazingly elevating this production. So I'm you know, just blown away at, you know, the sheer quality of the talent around me, and that's, you're only as good as the people that are around you. So you know, truly blessed to be with these people and have this. But I don't know if that answered your question, but I mean, yeah, time would be good. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
The question's what would you tell yourself, right?
Yes, if you could go back.
I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. Like, I knew how to, like, I'd acted before and stuff, but I was just, I didn't know what was going on. I just thought it was fun. Because I got to act those scenes. That's all I would say.
For me, I had a blast. It was so wild because I got a call from Paul when I was doing my Olympic weightlifting. I was studying under Bob Takano, snatching midway. I'm like, Paul's calling. He goes, hey, I want to talk to you. So he says, I want you for this role. I was like, amazing. But we're shooting like in several days. I'm like, okay, let me just clean up and let me go. And working with John, Paul, I mean, it was a blast. It was absolute blast. I mean, I've had the opportunity to work with lots of directors, and I'm telling you, the best compliment that I can get as an actor is when a director just lets you act. Way better than, oh, that was a good job.
No.
When the director just says, yo, man, just keep doing it, all right, here we go, let's go. Okay, good. That's the greatest, and it's a testament to you know, Paul's casting, the trust that they have in me. I would just say, hey, man, I want to change anything, just have fun, just trust in the process, trust in the prep, and thank you, you know, really for that trust. Yeah.
Talking about acting, I'm surprised to hear that you found your cast just a week before the actual shoot. So it means that you had only 1 week to prep. Could you talk a little bit about that? How did you manage it? I would not be able to do that in just a week. Did you have rehearsals? Did you just run the scene on set?
No, I run the scene on set, like right there. I did have like a lot of, you know, like I have other projects that I worked with Paul before, so in a way, like I knew I was in good hands, and as soon as I arrived there, like everything was like so professional. We had everything. We even had like a little place where you would like fit different outfits and fit, like see what's best for your character, like even if you're bringing clothes. So I thought that was really kind and really like mindful from you guys to be like, okay, you know, we're super prepared. So yeah, at least that was for me.
So a couple of people we cast a bit earlier. So Richard Shelton, who plays the therapist, is somebody I've worked with before. But we did quite a few rehearsals. I think we did 2 with Quinn and Hayley.
Yeah.
And with Richard. Yeah. So it was a long time ago. No one can remember anything.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
One runs through Richard's
I think we
house.
did 2 because we did. So the first time Quinn and Hayley met, we did the photos, the family photos, and I think we did one there, and then I think we had one more just before. And I know with Daniel and so Taylor Lawrence, who plays the detective at the beginning, is our other producer. I remember we had a quick sort of rehearsal for that day, but Yeah. But yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind, really. But I was kind of happy, because with the casting, I think we got it right. We had such amazing actors. I wasn't too worried, as long as we just had that conversation beforehand about what's happening and who that character really is, then I was happy to just let it play out and just sort of see what we get, basically.
Well, you know, it's just the process of casting, right? So, as a casting director, I do know who to go to initially. And John really had his vision in mind as well. So, it was just really putting the people that I believed in front of him and then having him make those choices. I mean, I've turned around castings in 24 hours, you know, if I have to. You know, having the luxury of time, that's just the casting process, right? So, the breakdown goes out, rolls, and then you know how it all works, obviously. But yeah, again, not having a luxury of time, but that is the process. And if you know, I'd like to say too that we have one of our other actors here is Rachel Murphy's in the audience, and that's Quinn's mom, and she plays you know, she was my wife who I was picking on in the scene before the turn. That's
The
me.
dead woman.
Right, so you know, I'd like to say hi to you, and thanks for being here. And they flew all the way in from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Quinn just came in for this special from Atlanta. But yeah, that is the process, you know, and yeah, if that answers your question.
It does. It does. Thank you. Just we have only 5 minutes
Sure.
left. You mentioned that it's a proof of concept. Could you talk a little bit about that? Could you hint at what we can expect in a feature film?
Yes, in the feature film, it's going to be structured like a Babushka doll, kind of like this, but we're going to go into the origin of the doll, basically. So the film will kind of jump back in time, and we'll kind of have a bit like with The Conjuring and the Insidious universes, where they'll do sort of like The Nun, they'll do kind of prequels set in the 19th century. I kind of want to give the audience the experience of an entire franchise in one film, where we sort of go through time and just get to experience a few different kind of worlds within the same film. So yeah.
And I'm always curious to ask, how do you choose if you want to develop your idea into a feature film or into a TV series? Because now I feel like it's so close. Just TV series is basically just a very long movie. So how do you make that choice that it's going to be a feature film, not a TV show or TV series?
I've always been more focused on film, but to be honest, it's just money. If someone wants to pay us to do it as a TV series, we'll do a TV series. So.
Nice. Okay, the audience, you have okay.
The score is amazing.
Yeah.
I would be hearing that in my head for some time, John. So did you have some input in your writing to accomplish that? What happened after you shot this thing to create that sound? It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So Kim Planet is our composer. He was also one of the executive producers. Yeah, I mean, Kim's amazing, and I sort of had lots of ideas, but I'm not very kind of musically minded, so I'd kind of give him lots of notes and examples and things, and then he'd actually make it into something amazing. But we actually went to Budapest and used a live orchestra to record the score. So particularly for things like strings, I think just live just sounds completely different. It just sort of cuts straight to your heart a lot more, and especially because we were doing quite random stuff. So each time you do a pass, it sounds completely different. So we just wanted something that really felt like it surrounded you in the room. And like, you get some good samples now, but it's just not quite the same. In terms of scale, we wanted it to feel really big so that people kind of understood what they were getting with the feature.
Do we have any more questions? Oh wow, we have two.
Curious on the creature, it only showed up for a moment in the shadows. Did you do that practically, or was it a combination of that, CG? What was your process?
So it's CG, but I'm glad that
It looked very
you're asking,
good.
because I'm worried it looks really CGI.
No, it looked very good.
So it wasn't planned. The long Steadicam shot at the end wasn't supposed to be that way, but we ran out of time, so I wasn't able to get the reverse shot of Quinn, so there was nothing to cut to, so we just had this one really, really long shot going around the house at the end, which was kind of boring without anything happening, so we had to add all this kind of visual effects stuff, so we added the creature, the feather falling, and then the score did a lot of the heavy lifting on that. And we kind of, I think we just about managed to make it tense rather than boring, and hopefully seem intentional, but it was kind of patching over issues we had because we just didn't have the time.
It's effective. It's good.
And I remember, okay,
So earlier you talked about like how you were inspired to like write it. Did you write it originally like as a feature and then you picked like a scene to do a short out of? Or when it first came to you, you were like, I could do like a short out of this, and then gradually started making it into a feature?
No, I just wrote the short.
Okay.
The feature I've been making notes on, and I've got loads of post-it notes and all sorts of things everywhere, so I've just plastered all over the walls, so it's been a few years in development, but yeah, no, I wrote it just as a short.
and I think we have one more question.
Yeah, just related to that steady cam shot at the end. On the cinematography side, I thought I was very impressed with it, and I know how it feels to be in that moment. Like, well, it's going to be a oneer. We have that much time left.
It's true.
And I was really impressed with it. And obviously, you kind of did fix it in post miraculously, but one thing you can't really fix in post, especially with a scene that low key, is lighting, and the lighting was good. So I was curious if you can speak a little bit more to that lighting. Was it mostly, because it's difficult when you're moving the camera all around in a oneer, was it mostly like, the adjustable aperture lights that you just screw in? Was it like mostly practical, or I saw some spots you could hide lights, but it was really well done.
Yeah, thank you. So our cinematographer is Robin Webster, who's amazing. So in the living room there was kind of a big softbox that was above, kind of doing a lot of stuff, and then there were lights kind of going through the windows a little bit, although they were kind of just lighting the windows. We very specifically didn't want to have the kind of moonlight streaking through, because it felt a little too movie-like, I guess. And we liked the idea of the house feeling like a kind of dead space where there wasn't anything outside. But it was, after we go through the living room, there's kind of the dining room table, and that was mostly lit just by something coming through the window. So it was really minimal, and then the kitchen didn't have anything, I don't think. It might have had a little something, but it was mostly practicals. So it's just very minimal stuff, really, because we didn't have anywhere to put lights. And the same with the opening scene, because the Steadicam was all over the place, so, yeah.
I just wanted to add to that. I mean, when you're in those situations and you do run out of time, such as, we don't get another day to shoot, or we're losing a location, it sort of forces you into a creative space. And I just got to say, John, absolutely brilliant on bringing that together. I didn't even know about the demon at the end. I thought I was the scariest point of it, right? But watching the modeling come together on that, and then to place it in the shadows in the way it was, and just the intensity that I brought, I just think it was absolutely brilliant. And I was concerned, on this screen, if you guys could see it enough, in the grade when it's projected, right, different than we're seeing it on the original. So it seemed a slightly darker and shadowed on the screen here than I think it is in the actual grade. So there may have been slight more detail there to it, but I gotta say, John worked on that feather drop. I think he had about 100 drops or something, he said, to get that feather to fall right. And he did that in London on his own. And it's just genius. Love it. Yeah, it's cool.
Do we have any more questions? We don't. Awesome.
Can I just say really quick, sorry, because I know you probably gonna say something, but I just want to give a quick shout out to my publicist, Tony and Lucio from Glace Entertainment PR, because they've been working really behind the scenes to get this out. Yeah, and just want to at least take this opportunity just to give them a shout out. And yeah, they're not here, but again, they're part of the team that really help out. So especially on the end, just trying to get this out. So just at least want to give Tony Lucio from Glace Entertainment, PR, a big shout out. So.
Love publicity.
And also, who's not here in Australia right now is Jennifer Taylor Lawrence, who's our main producer, and just absolutely incredible. Shout out to her as well.
Any other other shadows?
So many,
I think that's it.
there's so many
Okay.
people, but yeah.
All right.